Hi, I'm Aaron, and today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to neatly hide all of the TV cables within the wall with this device known as a PowerBridge. And when we're done, not only will the cables be hidden, but you'll also have a convenient outlet behind your television. All of this without doing any electrical work at all. That's right, you don't have to know anything about wiring to hide these wires in the wall. This is why the PowerBridge is so awesome, and it is totally code compliant with the National Electric Code as well. The model I'm using today is called the 1CK, which gives you a single recessed outlet behind your television. Need more power? Then there is also a double wide known as the 2CK with an additional second outlet. There are some pro models of PowerBridge as well, but those do require some minor electrical know-how to assemble. So in this video, we're just going to stick to the more DIY friendly, no electrical know-how CK models. So this device consists of a male outlet assembly and a female outlet assembly with some in-wall rated wires attached to each of them. There's also a big fat plug, some instructions, and a little playing card looking thing that serves as a template. Let's go through a quick install so that you can see that this is very doable for most any DIYer. I'll be doing this demonstration on this TV that I mounted in my previous video. If you didn't catch that video, I'll link to it at the end if you want to watch it. I'll also put a list of tools in the description below. Now let's fix this mess. So you can see everything. I'm going to take this TV out of the way. So the first thing I want to do is find the studs in the wall. Now, I already know that there's a stud here because I bolted to it when I was mounting the TV. Chances are, when your TV is mounted, the mount is attached to the stud. Doesn't have to be. It is possible to secure it in other ways, but the best way to secure these things is through a stud. So look for the bolt, probably a stud. Confirm it with a StudFinder. And there you go. And you can see it all the way up and down that there's a stud there. So the other side also bolted to a stud. And there you go. You can see it. Let me see if I can do that better. You can see it plain as day that there's a stud there. That's actually where that electrical outlet is attached. If you ever have trouble finding a stud, look for an electrical outlet. It's probably attached to a stud. But anyway, so we know there's a stud here, and we know there's a stud here. So the stud bay, which should be mostly empty, is right here. So I'm going to mark off those studs. So there's a stud there, there's a stud there, and we need to check to see if there is any other obstructions in the wall. So I actually knew this was here. There's something here. I know it's not a stud because it's not 16 inches on center like my other studs. All the studs in this wall are 16 inches on center, except for right here. So that tells me it's something different. If you want to, I figured out that it's right on vent pipe. If you want to see how, you can check out the TV mounting video. I also know that there's some sort of obstruction up here. Wait. Hold on one second. If there's an obstruction here, then how do you explain this? Here's what happened. So normally I would have put the outlet somewhere that my StudFinder indicated as clear, as scribbled on in green. And these red marks, they signified readings on my StudFinder that I believe to be possible obstructions. However, when I tried to find an alternative location for the outlet, I concluded that placing it below the mount was not going to work. The TV was just not large enough to hide the outlet well. Then I thought about going in between the brackets, but there was just not enough room to get the outlet in there between the stud and the mount assembly. So if it was at all possible, putting the outlet above the mount was the best option, and I really wanted to try to make it work. Now, there is no such thing as a perfect StudFinder. There is a possibility of an erroneous reading, so I grabbed the coat hanger, drilled a small hole in a location that nobody would ever notice. Then I bent my coat hanger into a more usable shape, put it in the wall, and then felt around. I did feel an obstruction that I believe to be a vent pipe to the side, but there didn't seem to be any actual obstruction above the mount. So then I drilled a small pinhole where the StudFinder said there was an obstruction and hit nothing but air, which is a huge relief. So then I placed my template on the wall, made sure it was level, and traced it out with a pencil. To cut the wall, I used a simple jab saw like this. So I tried punching my saw through the top corner of my outline, and it felt like I was hitting some resistance. So I decided it was better to try a different location before I make too big of a mess. Then I put my template against the wall on its side horizontally, closer to where I drilled the exploratory pinhole, and then retraced it. Once outlined, I smacked my jab saw a couple of times and it plunged into the wall easily. I proceeded to cut down the wall, then I cut another portion of the template horizontally to make sure I was clear in that direction as well. Everything went smoothly, and in no time I had a nice rectangular hole in the wall. Since there's no insulation, I put my cell phone into the wall to have a look around. We can see the radon vent pipe and a wire running along the stud and across the baseboard. Otherwise, we have a nice clear straight run down the stud bay. I turned my phone up the other way and there was no obstruction whatsoever. So why did my StudFinder detect something here? Well, I have a working theory, but I want to test it out further before I share it on YouTube. If you are interested, I'll probably do a future video on it. If you have a guess though, then put it in the comments and I'll let you know if you are right. And what about when I couldn't get it in the first time? Performance issues, I guess. Hey, it happens. Anyway, I mark off the bottom hole location, smack my jab saw in, and cut. And in no time, I have a second outlet location ready. Then I drop my various cables through the wall and pull them through the bottom cutout. For my install, I only needed to run a couple of HDMI cables and a coaxial cable. With an empty wall void, this was really easy. If you have any trouble dropping the wires down, like if there's insulation, then you may have to use a tool like a fish tape or a glow rod to assist you in running your cables. Some folks also like to install PVC conduit to contain their cables, but it's not a requirement. I'd only use it on something like an insulated wall to make adding wires and cables easier in the future. So then I grab the female portion of the PowerBridge and straighten out the cord, and then run that through the wall. I slide each of my cables through the wire brush portion of the PowerBridge outlet. Now you can run all sorts of low voltage wire through the wall, like HDMI, optical audio, speaker wire, Ethernet cables, coaxial cable, pretty much anything that plugs into your TV except the power cord. Never run a regular power cord through the wall. Now we just push the plug into the hole and then tighten the screws with a screwdriver. This will cause the flaps to latch onto the wall and secure the PowerBridge. Don't over tighten these screws or you could break a tab off. Then grab your bottom plug and feed your cables through the wire brush. Then attach the clips together like a seatbelt. Make sure it clips tight and doesn't come apart. Feed the excess wire and the clip into the wall cavity. Put the outlet assembly into the wall and tighten those screws to secure it. Then grab the power cord and plug your PowerBridge into a nearby outlet. Out comes the shop vac to clean up all the drywall dust off the mount and the floor. So now I just put my TV back. Plug everything in. And I like to keep it all neat with some zip ties. Let's test it out to make sure that everything is working as it should. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.